Check out more cool videos at thecutup.net. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/thecutup.
Okay, everyone, places! Oops. Action!
It's quite an event when two juggernauts of the film industry come together to create the ultimate summer blockbuster movie. Steven Spielberg and JJ Abrams have been teasing the ultimate blockbuster Super 8 for so long now that it's hard to believe it's finally here for our summer enjoyment. But here it is, and both directors have their stank all over it. It's just too bad it's 2/3 magic and 1/3 rushed out the door. Supposedly based on Spielberg's childhood, in Super 8, it's 1979. We follow Joe and his filmmaking buddies, the director, the pyromaniac, the kid who pukes a lot, and a few other movie nerds. They're trying to make a film for an upcoming festival, and while out one night filming, they witness a catastrophic train crash, and their camera captures the footage of the wreck. The government then invades, and they find out their camera captured more than just the wreck, but also a strange creature fleeing from it. Surprise! It's an alien. And from there, it goes on to terrorize the town. Think The Goonies and E.T. combined with a small town Cloverfield, and you've pretty much got the gist of it. Super 8 is about a group of kids. It's what I'll call a clubhouse movie, like The Goonies or Monster Squad. I like the characters in the movie. Sure, they might be a bit cliched, but it does all work. The main character, Joe, and his dad are dealing with the loss of Joe's mother, making their relationship strained. So Joe finds solace in doing makeup for his friend Charles's movies. Here, we're introduced to a bunch of friends who get together to make movies. Some of the kids are so well defined and funny, just like members of the Goonies. The sympathetic kid, the wise-ass director, the crazy pyromaniac. And one of these kids just pukes a lot, and that's his thing. Maybe he should be a garbage pail kid. Each of the kids has a role, almost literally, for Charles's movies, which I think is pretty clever. They all fit somewhere, and it's no different when Alice, the girl of the group, is introduced. She ends up being the most talented actor on the camera for Charles's movies, and she also ends up being the love interest for Joe. Parents and kids alike, all the acting is good. And the dialogue is well delivered and pretty funny. But the group dynamic is a little lacking. If you came to this expecting something like The Goonies, you're going to be a little let down. The Spielberg feeling is 100% here. But I never felt like this was a tight-knit group, especially when the ending is resolved by only a couple members of the group. Remember how in The Goonies everyone seemed to have their place? It doesn't feel like that here. And maybe it's unfair to judge it compared to a classic 80s film, but that formula works better. But for the most part, you'll only notice this in the last 15 minutes of the film. Speaking of which, what the hell happened to this movie leading up to the end to make it so unsatisfying? Well, as I said, the group dynamic does break, but the movie also decides to tie all of its loose ends up in the last 10 minutes or so. I don't want to spoil anything, but basically, they figure out what the alien wants without so much as a nod. It felt unrealistic and very thrown together. It was like all of a sudden it dawned on someone what had to happen, and then it was over. The reason this is such a letdown is because the rest of the film is so great. Why do they have to rush the ending like that? And the alien design, ugh. This was something we were supposed to identify with and feel sorry for? It's ugly, and the thing is branded as a killing machine until the last 5 minutes. What a great bonding experience. The kind of alien you'd like to take fishing for a weekend, huh? Sure, E.T. was ugly, but at least he was cute. Despite what the monster looks like, the special effects are amazing, and everything else is really beautiful. Super 8 is definitely a movie of two parts. One big part is amazingly entertaining, visually beautiful, funny, and builds up a great feeling of mystery, fondness for the characters, and nostalgia. The last short part is a rushed and unsatisfying payoff. This movie really had me loving it, and then the last 10 to 15 minutes happened. Super 8 is definitely an awesome summer blockbuster movie, even if it was a little rushed at the end. And I wouldn't go expecting the next Goonies.
We have to find this thing. I don't feel good about this.
Go!
I saw it. No one believes me.
I believe you. What the hell?
Alright guys, that's a wrap.